The Destiny 2 showcase is right around the corner on the 22nd of August 2023, and that means we are on the cusp of finding out more about the final shape, the last expansion in the Light vs Darkness Saga, plus a whole load of other things related to Destiny 2 as well. Today I want to have a look at what I'd like to see from the Destiny 2 showcase, plus I've got some of your suggestions as well. Well, before we get into the top things that I want from the Destiny 2 showcase, let me know down in the comments what you want from the Destiny 2 showcase. I'd be really interested to see what you think. Okay, without further delay, let's dive right into it. So first of all, the final shape reveal, and this really goes without saying, and it is likely to be the majority of the showcase. Now, what is the story with the final shape? What can we expect? And what new features are coming into Destiny 2? So we've seen Cade 6 teased, talking to Ikora possibly inside the Traveller. We could get confirmation of a new subclass, the third Darkness subclass to join Stasis and Strand. So I would really like to see who is coming back for the final shape, and I really hope we get that Avengers Endgame moment, with the Vanguard teaming up with Keitel, Eris, Drifter, Mara, Mithrax, Saint 14, and possibly even Savathun versus the Witness and Xivu Arath. Well, Bungie recently confirmed in the state of the game for the final shape, the story campaign and the raid would be the culmination of the story over the last few years, so it's going to be very interesting to see whether Bungie land this thing or not. Regarding new features, I think we're going to hear about plans about the levelling system, as there's been plenty of feedback regarding that over the years, and Bungie have been talking about trying out something new. It's a risky one. Even though the current levelling system is fairly tired at this point, I'm certainly hoping for something more like Witch Queen compared to Lightfall. Well, next up, we're going to get information about next season. So Bungie's next season in the year of Lightfall releases, and that is on the same day as the showcase. And the last two showcases provide a deep dive into the season and what we can expect. Regarding the story, I imagine we're going to be resurrecting Savathun with the help of her ghost Imaru. That's most likely going to be the main story. Alongside that, I would imagine we're going to be getting more about Maya Sundaresh and also more Vex teasers as well, but more about that in a minute. We've also got balance patches coming, new weapons, probably a new activity, and some kind of iteration on the seasonal model as well. Well, next up, we've got the returning raid. So one of the main features of next season is going to be a returning raid from Destiny 1. 2 years ago, we got the Vault of Glass, still one of my favourite raids to this day. Last year, we got King's Fall. And this year, I think we're going to get Crota's End. So if we're going to be resurrecting Savathun next season in the story, then a companion to that could be another Hive raid. Bungie don't normally care about the reprised raids fitting into the story, but I think we're going to have a big Hive focus, aligning with Savathun, perhaps applying pressure to Xivu Arath to turn against the Witness. Now, Crota's End was the smaller of the raids in Destiny 1, but to me it makes more sense than Wrath of the Machine. Wrath has got Splicer fallen enemy types that we don't have in Destiny 2, plus that was Outbreak Prime, although that was introduced as the exotic reward for the 0 hour as Outbreak Perfected. And while Crota's End is smaller, I think Bungie are going to have to look at some of the encounters and perhaps even rework them. Well, next up, we've got after Final Shape, so Bungie should spend some time talking about plans after Final Shape. But what is going to happen to Destiny 2? It's likely they're going to kick off another saga, and I would imagine reassure fans that Destiny 2 isn't going anywhere. There's been a lot of confusion in the community with people talking about Destiny 2 ending, or Bungie working on Destiny 3. Bungie has been clear in the past about Destiny 3 that is not in their plans, and that Destiny 2 will continue after the final shape. How it's going to continue is a big question. So for example, with the major expansion, we tend to buy that for the campaign, the raid, and also the following 4 seasons of content. But if the story is going to wrap up during the campaign and the raid, then what are those 4 seasons going to be about? And what will they build up to? So a few years ago, Bungie revealed Beyond Light, and they laid out their plans for Witch Queen and Lightfall, and then later they added the final shape. So I'd really like to see Bungie do something similar and give us a tease of at least the next major expansion and give us some hints about the story. During this season's Veil Containment weekly messages, we've been finding out more about Maya Sundaresh and the Vex. I would imagine we're going to be getting even more of that, and Bungie did do some press interviews talking about the narrative, and it sounds like we're going to be getting more in-depth story about the Vex coming very, very soon. Well, next up, we could get more Destiny 2 games. So Bungie revealed recently they're working on Marathon, their PvP-focused extraction shooter. I've got a feeling that Bungie are working on more than Destiny 2 and Marathon, and I expect them to reveal plans for a Destiny 2 mobile game. I don't exactly know what that game is going to be about, or whether it's standalone or a companion experience, but we've heard rumblings for a long time about a mobile game, and now would be the perfect time to announce it. Well, next up, I want to talk briefly about PvP support. So regarding PvP, we know we're getting a new map set in the Vex network called Multiplex, and Bungie have said we're going to see gameplay of that new map, plus also later in the Final Shape seasons, we're getting a new modifier called Checkmate, plus a new party mode called Relic. Now, we got some matchmaking improvements coming as well, but other than that, it looks like pretty slim pickings for PvP updates. I don't think we're going to get the overhaul that the PvP community wants to see. New maps are the major thing that people want to see, and I tell you what, I would love to see Bungie introduce a Forge mode into the game, but we're getting into dream territory there in terms of a wishlist. While Bungie did develop a feature-rich Forge mode for Halo in years gone by, that just isn't the Bungie that we know today, and I think a Forge mode is highly unlikely. However, it would be a really, really good solution for PvP maps, so just let the community go wild and create them themselves. Well, next up, we've got some hints from the recent State of the Game article from Joe Blackburn. So regarding other updates, we've heard some hints about revamped seasonal models, switching up the way Bungie present us seasonal content. So Bungie said in their recent State of the Game, we've been working behind the scenes to shake up the seasonal paradigm this year to subvert player expectations and make each season feel unique. We know our players are looking forward to more variety and repeatable seasonal activities, and more than anything, we want to constantly surprise everyone with what comes next each season. We've also got new weapon subfamilies coming into the game, and I really think this went under the radar and drowned out by all the noise of the recent State of the Game, but I reckon the weapon subfamilies point is really, really interesting. So, Joe Blackburn said, looking further into the future, we're going to be introducing some entirely new weapon subfamilies with the Final Shape. You can tune into that showcase on August the 22nd to get your first look at some of these in action, as well as some other unexpected additions to Destiny 2's arsenal yet to come. So, really, really interesting stuff there, tantalising, and I can't wait to find out from the showcase itself. So in terms of the community, I did put an ask out to see what you wanted from the Destiny 2 showcase, and Dark Cyber UK replied, and I think with a really, really good idea, saying a legacy collection of all the old campaigns reworked as a single player experience. So I definitely like that suggestion, Dark Cyber. We've got the Red War campaign in the Destiny content vault, plus also the Forsaken campaign no longer in the game as well. There's Curse of Osiris, there's the Warmind story. Now, while I think it's unlikely that we're going to see this content again in Destiny 2, given it'd be fairly confusing from a narrative point of view, personally, I would love to see this content in the game in some way. Well, that is it for my preview for the Destiny 2 showcase. Let me know in the comments what you want to see from the Destiny 2 showcase. I would love to hear what you think. Well, that is it for this video today, and thank you so much for watching or listening. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.